Hi, so I want to cover the subject of transfers of money from abroad into Israel. So from 2018, it actually started around 2006 and so on, that what is known as FATCA and the CRS, which is the regulations that they are by the banks and the tax authorities all over the worldwide, to just limit or try and fight the evasion of taxes and money laundering around the world. So the law started to be enforced in 2018. I mean, the law was already there was a problem with the regulation, the specific regulation, and in Israel there's a lot of, the political situation is not very stable. I mean, many governments are elected and then they dismantle, and I mean, in my opinion, it's just a thing of too many parties, and you have to, maybe raise the percentage of parties that come into, will go into the parliament. Anyway, so in 2018, the law started to be enforced. You have, with XML, everything is actually goes through the system of the computers in the bank, or if you have a bank account abroad, it goes through the system, and you can always see it also by the income tax in the department. So what do you the bank started to enforce much more the need of signature of the tax advisor, an accountant, a lawyer, and they are much more precautious, because all of this is not only the client, also they have to be, they're regulated, and they're being checked, and so on. I mean, they have all these regulations. So what I'm gonna show now is, this is actually very simple, because it's not the first lot. Usually when you have the first lot, you'll have the procedure when you come into Israel, maybe a resident, a returning resident, or, just so on, and you'll have a very complex procedure after you're exempt, where you have to be audited to show that what was the source of your income, to avoid, loops in the system. So anyway, I'm going to show a very simple one, which is not the first lot that you bring into the country, but it is, I mean, this is actually someone that just has a broker account from abroad, and it's a usual procedure. So I'm going to show the form which we usually give to the bank. And the thing is actually that many accountants and lawyers do not want to sign it, because there's a criminal I mean, what the banks usually give to you is everything was, the form is, everything was everything is clean all the years, and that's it. I mean, an accountant or a lawyer can't sign such a form, and even the chamber of the accountants has published a paper which says, this is not according to the YAS, which is the international rules of auditing. This is not the correct letter. So we have our own letter. So this is the second lot, which, is the template. I'm going to share the screen now. Share screen. Screen, okay. I just enlarge it. I'm using an ambient mode. So, okay. Regarding Bitcoin, it's very, very hard. I mean, there was a ruling in the court, a court case that shows that if a person can show all, the transfers and, what was the source of the money. So in my opinion, if someone is trading now Bitcoin, they should always have the papers in a way that they can show which bank did it go out from. You go into the bank, sit with the manager even. I have assigned, for my finances board. I have, that was the first thing I've done. It came from here, you usually would have to keep the same accountant or lawyer for many years, because all these, movements, a second man won't want to take charges regarding that. And if there is a change of visa, I mean, you should sit with your the accountant should sit with the second accountant, just make sure everything is correct, and you can go through. That's the procedure. In many cases, it is. I mean, the person gets old, sick. It's something that is done, or you can cooperate later on. So I'm going to show the letter. I'll read it out. So you have the undersigned, a licensed accountant in Israel, and then you give the name from, and you give the address, the occupation. Hereby states that in accordance with a non-statutory audit, which has been done regarding the source of the funds that have been transferred from the bank account and the number of the account, okay, and have been transferred in you give the date and all that, and have originated from, okay, so you can see that there was the second lot was. This is actually a trading account, which is very simple, but you can show this is actually, it came out from Israel to the other bank account, the trader account, and so on. Okay, and you give all the papers, the paper trail. Okay, if you make a change, I'm talking now as if to the professional, but if you make the change of the account to the lawyer and so on, check the paper trail. Attach it's a financial audit. Attaches a statement of the transfer. And regarding the profits from the sale and the transfer, the client, okay, if it's done this year, for instance, the person said, I'm going to make, I mean, there was the thing with the currency, different currency, and, he also has shares in it. And I mean, if a person has a Forex account, he says, I'm going to go with the dollar, bring it, it was 416. And I think the pound was as well, and stuff like that. So I had people that they just did it, and now they're bringing it to Israel. I mean, there's now since there's inflation, they want to put it in, Israeli bonds or whatever. So, okay, regarding the profits from the sale and the transfer, the client, according to her declarations, has been reporting according to this is an account of the Israeli tax ordinance law. The income to the ITA. The ITA is the Israeli tax authorities, and shall report a capital profit or loss from the ITA, okay, for 2023 regarding the transfer. So, you take a chart of that profit that they're gonna report it to the tax officers, and has been this year. But it's usually, I mean, if unless a person has just money standing, sitting on cash, and then he wants to bring it into Israel. So it's also a thing, and then there's no profit, and I think and you can go into detail. So that's the thing. The banks also have, it's all computerized today. So they have, and they keep the records, and it's all, it has to be well done. So that's the thing. And also regarding Bitcoin, it's the same thing. You have it abroad. I mean, there was a ruling that they will enable the Bitcoin to come back into your bank. That was the court ruling, but actually, I think till 2022, I heard that they were putting. I mean, let's put it, on in your face, but it's a different currency, competing with, competing with the banks. So, I mean, I don't know how many people have been able to do that, bring it back into the bank. There was a ruling. I know it's a hot topic. I'll be glad, if you could leave me notes if how you were able to do it at the time. As I understood, just people, couldn't bring it to the bank up to last year, more or less. But let's see what the court ruling will do. How do you say, make it in Israel, make it together, and everyone organizes it by himself, and maybe if you want, we can see how it goes. I mean, if you bring your papers inside, and you can really show the paper trail and so on, and if it's not a complex thing, you have all the records, and I mean, you are a very tidy person, because I just for me it's a pirate world. Bitcoin. It's so many cases about money laundering and stuff like that, and big problems. But if a person is, a organized person who does believe in the, encrypted significance of Bitcoin, and I mean, that seemed, I don't know, I don't mean a lot of people are money laundering in Israel, but I mean, maybe a lot. I mean, people made a profit. I mean, if you brought a profit, you can go on. Just, I'm old school in that, in that view. Just seems like the tulip, a bit, the tulip craze that went on in Holland, which is, suddenly tulips are very, very expensive. Okay. So people can bring in, they have an organized paper trail and so on. I mean, I would do the okay, yeah. We can bring keep your notes if refer to us, and okay, and press the like or whatever.